Welcome back, everybody. Today's going to be a little bit of an abstract video. There's a few things that I want to kind of go back over and consolidate into one video. And I hope I don't keep, going back in circles here for you, but I really want you to pay attention to these things if you haven't already. A lot of the updates that came through over the last couple of months have added some twists and turns and extra things into the game that if you're not taking advantage of, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I want to kind of start, not necessarily here with the Elysians, excuse me, but with the sprites. So if you haven't been using your illusion armor, you need to, okay? If you look at them, the top two are your hit points, the middle two are your defense, and the bottom two are your attack. So you upgrade them to whatever you want to do first. But keep in mind, the only way to gain these outside of events is to disassemble fragments. So as you gain fragments for sprites you may not use, especially ones for like Baskar or somebody like that, you can disassemble those for these yellow pieces, which are the higher end sprite fragments, while you get the basic sprite crystallites from any others below that, okay? So every Monday when you get the cat ones, whatever it is, you need to decide what's more important to you, whether it's the illusion armor and or augmenting eventually that sprite. I personally think illusion armor, unless it's a sprite you use, but that may be different for yourself. I just wanted to go back over it, make sure you're paying attention to it. Mount has changed quite a bit as far as two things. The morphing ability does help a lot, regardless if you're like that mount and are working towards the appearance of that mount. For instance, I have the orange one appearance unlocked, and that's what I currently use for the Dark Flame Tiger. I think it's the best color in my personal preference. I have a lot more resources to go ahead and work towards another. I may do the black and white two-headed drake here, but I digress. The whole point of this is to get to the next floor. Not only do you need the summon sprite stones, which do increase drastically as the floors increase and as you go through the floors, but you will also need essences, not fragments, but essences of that mount. So even though you've unlocked them, those extra essences may still be useful. So hold on to them, okay? First floor is 2, then it goes to 5, 8, 10, I can't remember, but you needed quite a few of them, 30 some, to go ahead and get to the 5th floor, which is where you unlock the actual appearance of that. But it's extra BR, hit points, hit, dodge, critical, everything that you may be missing. A lot of attributes here that I want you to pay attention to. 2, make sure you can get as many celestial essences as possible, because upgrading your beast Aegis or your shield along with augmenting the actual shield through the fragments for it is huge. Now you're gonna have way more fragments than you're gonna get celestial essences, and that's the point. The faster you can collect these, the faster you're gonna get huge increases. For instance, the last time I upgraded this and then augmented it, it was, I don't know, 800,000, almost a million BR, okay? So the faster you can collect these through events or whatever else, I highly suggest it, because once you upgrade these and then augment it, it's by far the fastest way to increase overall attributes, okay? Not to mention, if you haven't unlocked these or been able to go ahead and upgrade some of these, pay attention to them, because they do have some nice things here for you, mainly defensive, but at the same time, definitely worth looking into. Still in its infancy, but something I really want you to pay attention to, okay? Wings. This has changed drastically over the last few months. It used to be work towards whatever class of wings, grade you could possibly get, and it was a status symbol. Now it's a little bit different, okay? The morphing, yes, is cool. Pick what you want aesthetically, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm really here to talk about is the level of them and the grouping, mainly the grouping. So as you begin to unlock different sets of these, this is what's most important. These bonuses are huge multipliers when you start to get higher BR. And I've noticed that BR in general is logarithmic. If you think back when you first started, getting 10 million BR seemed like, dude, that dude's a god, right? And now we're looking at people at 200, and I'm sure there's 300, 400 out there on older servers. That didn't take nearly as long as it does when you get more, because these percentages drastically increase, right? 5% is a lot more of 100 million than it is of 2 million, right? It's just the way it works. So make sure you're taking advantage of them. Now, these seem to be the more Soul Flame wings, the hardest to get. There was an event I wish I got them from a month and a half ago. But anyways, I digress. But pay attention to them. If you have the wings unlocked and you haven't leveled them to the proper levels to take advantage of these group bonuses, that should be one of your number one goals, okay? Not just leveling up the ones you wear to an astronomically high level, which I'm sure I did 80, 129, let's see, 113, right? If I was smart about these, I would have upgraded them to 80, or the bare minimum level for the groupings, 40, whatever it might be, right? And if you look based on what wing selection you have, they are so many groupings, okay? I was just selecting these. Now if I look at this grouping, okay, they're still pretty similar. If I look at this grouping, top two are similar. These are different, right? So I have both the Wings of Conquest and the Wings of Dark Spirit, so maybe I should start working to these to 120. So if I look at Wings of Dark Spirit and Wings of Conquest and I go back, I got 81 and I'm at 81. So I need to get these to 120 to get that next grouping, which will allow me to go ahead and get an additional critical damage reduction by 5% and additional hit points, right? Hit points maybe not that much, but at the same time, some pay attention to. I really want you to start focusing on that, okay? As far as Metallurgy goes, yes, you should be smelting everything that's not epic or legendary, and epic 3 stars, right? And legendary 2 or higher. That's common sense by this point. However, you need to be also smelting anything lower than what you're not using. Guild storage was great in the beginning, but as you get higher in levels, your guild doesn't need that stuff, and neither do you, okay? So 7, 8, 9 level gear, 10 even, sometimes even 11 based on your server. Most people don't need it unless it's a weapon or accessory. So at that point, you should probably have enough storage points where if something comes up in there, you can just nab it and not worry about it. But you need to smelt level 10 to get, or higher, to get the dust for enchanting. You need to get to smelt legendaries to go ahead and get magical residue to go ahead and upgrade your skills. And they did boost these from capped at 10 to 20, and they are a lot of magical residue to go ahead and upgrade. So this is something you should be working towards as well. So smelting did change just slightly, okay? Gallery entry, just to go over it again here with you, you should only be upgrading the epic and legendary under Tower Legend and Treasure Hunt boss. And I mainly say that because main story's all basic, okay? The rest should be under your smart box. You should unclick if it does highlight them automatically, all those that are not, and dismantle them. Now, you don't see a huge jump in BR here, or one at all, because I have not upgraded anything yet. But when this level jumps, it's also an additional 50, 60, 70, 80, sometimes more 1,000 BR for me. And really the ones you're using are the ones that you're continuing upgrading anyways, right? The ones that are equipped here, if you look, are mostly legendaries except for one epic. That is the whole point. The rest is just wasted resources you're upgrading for 1,000, 800, maybe a couple thousand BR if you actually upgrade them with the cards, okay? So pay attention to that. God Soul, as far as your cores, work towards your best possible proficiencies. All right, so if you haven't started collecting these topazes, you really need to. Now, if you look, they came out with eventually the legendary and epic cores, which allow you to get the proficiencies for the second to last tier and the last tier of your actual talents, which is a huge buff because the second to last tier actually starts increasing your BR. It's not just skills that may do more damage. It is actually stacks your BR, and there are some really nice ones in legendary. Now, 300 of these is going to take some time. Obviously, I've already spent 99 to get this one here. But with that being said, make sure you max out your core first, whatever it is, purple, blue, even if you still have one. whatever it's going to be, max it out, then worry about your souls. Secondly, only craft legendary God souls, right? If you need and get to the point where you're maxed out, then you start working towards your double legendaries. Okay, save all these shards, don't worry about the red dots, only start and only do those specifically. And lastly, for the God souls, make sure you're doing the ones that have percentages, not flat rate increases. So if there is a plus sign and no percentage here, not the one to do, right? And if you don't know all the breakdowns, check out my God Soul tutorial for more details on that, but I just wanted to go over it since we're kind of doing a recap here, okay? Tyrant Souls, big difference here is when you're going to craft, it's not 3-star epics to create legendaries, okay? 3-star epics don't do anything unless it's better for you to equip that one right now. To create 2-star legendaries, you actually need 1-star legendaries. So unlike equipment, 1-star legendaries are actually important when it comes to that, okay? So make sure you're not, absorbing those or enhancing those thinking that they're not going to be craftable equipment. That's a big mistake, okay? Other than that, wedding ring's always been the same here for you. Nothing's changed there. But those are just a few things, and I just want to recap here to see if I missed anything that I really wanted to get into. And I really don't. Just make sure you're doing your daily events to get all those things that I just talked about to the most of the ability. And other than that, I appreciate everybody from watching. These are a few things that will really help you if you're missing. And if you do have further questions on any of them, please, message me, comment in this, below, whatever you need to do, so I can get you the answers you need. And you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next episode.